Kim McLaurin, and today I will be doing my persuasive speech on adoption. There are many children born in the world that do not have family. Family is important to many people because of the emotional connection that is formed and is continuous. A family of the norm was once two parents, particularly a man and a woman, and I think it should be possible for anyone who is able and willing to adopt a child to be able to do so, regardless of their gender or marital status. In today's times, my thoughts are supported. Today, there are several ways to adopt. However, it is hard for single people and homosexual people to adopt a child. There are different types of several ways a person can adopt. Most people go through the adoption agency, and they are put through a rigorous process that will determine if they are eligible to adopt. This is where singles and homosexuals are eliminated from being eligible. This is unfair and discrimination. A single person or homosexual couple can provide just as much care and love and support that a child needs as a two-parent home, as a heterosexual home. This is the reason the United States is such a high foster child count than other developed countries. Most adoptions are considered closed, basically meaning that adoptive parents will not receive any information about the maternal parents or paternal parents. Any type of adoption is an open adoption. Another type of adoption is an open adoption, which is where the maternal parents chooses the adoptive parents. Lastly, a surrogate mother with a donor. And this is when a person has a baby for the intended parents. With all these types of adoptions, the only person at risk is the child. Why hold the child's life in the hands of the system versus allowing a single parent or a homosexual to adopt the child? With that in mind, there is no guarantee that a married couple who adopt a child will do any better than any other person. Marriage is unreliable today, and there are more single parenting couples than married couples. There is not a drastic difference in parenting because two people are married. The love and support that a child needs to become productive and caring citizens comes from the love and caring that they received at home. Being employed and having adequate time to spend with a child is not based on marriage or whether you're a man or a woman. This is based on a person willing to adopt a child and go through the long process. He deserves to have, and with him going through that person, the child deserves to have the love and affection that comes from raising a child. Through the time, single parents have raised great children who are successful and make good decisions. Having a two-parent home can be beneficial, but it does not make it any better. It does not make it a better home than having a single parent. If the two parents are homosexual, they can provide the same needs as two heterosexual parents. Their sexual preference should not be a factor that determines if they are responsible and loving adults to a child. Same with single parents. They have just as much love to give as a two-parent home. Personally, I have children, and some of them are not my maternal children, but they're family, and I treat them just the same as I treat my own child. I truly think that being a good parent does not come from marriage. It comes from your upbringing and your willingness and responsibility to provide and to teach that child. Having the sheer willingness to want to adopt takes courage and a lot of time. It's also beneficial to the child, not the system, which in a lot of cases, this is what happens. Babies are worth a lot of money to the adoption agencies, and all the interested parties, such as the agencies, the lawyers, and maternal parents, make a good amount of money from this type of transaction. The real concern should not be money-driven, but for the safety and well-being of the adoptive child, to have the parent and be loved individually, even if their potential parents are single or homosexual. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my speech.